So after closing the gap to Aston Martin last time out in Baku, we're aiming to overtake the green team this week in Miami. Hello everybody, welcome back to Mercedes HQ, where we're preparing to go stateside and head to Miami. My name's Aaron, I'm the boss here at Mercedes now, not Toto Wolff, and we have been doing, well, fairly alright. We are 4th in the Constructors' Championship, 4 points behind Aston Martin, quite a way behind Ferrari, who won the last race in Baku. Go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. There was a pile-up in the sprint which caused a red flag. Red Bull leading the way. It's actually closer between Red Bull and Ferrari than it potentially should be. In the drivers, Verstappen leads the way. He finished 8th in the last race. He only got a few points because he damaged his front wing and then didn't pit. He would have been better off coming into the pit, I'm sure. But Lewis is in P5 and George is 8th. We need to sort George out, really. He needs a little bit more in terms of his pace, I would say, in terms of just everything. It's not quite worked out for George. He beat Lewis in the opening race and has been beaten in every race ever since. While you were away, I have started designing a third iteration of side pods, which are lightweight, because if you have a look at our no, not that, we want car analysis. Our performance, 17th on acceleration. We're bad on engine cooling, but extra weight as well. We've got a heavy car. That's going to slow us down. So trying to lighten the car, and then the acceleration will sort of level out with everything else. And that might start helping us. But before we head off to Miami, we actually, on the side pods thing, we have a problem. Unfortunately, it will take longer to design the side pods project than we first thought. The team underestimated how complex it would be, so our initial timeline proposal was simply incorrect. This is from James Allison. I've added details of the project and the new timeline below. Basically, it's going to take an extra 2 weeks or so. We can change the deadline, or we can pay some overtime. And we're going to pay some overtime. We want this job done and on the car as soon as possible. The make or break moment in Q3. So there's Lewis in the background. We're going to follow George Russell. We've got the timing colours ready to go. And there's just a few seconds with the last cars to start our final lap. So hopefully the track is at its best now. That's the checkered flag. How is George Russell's first sector? We'll know any time now. Personal best for George, a 33.6, 33.3 though for Hamilton. Stroll has now got ahead of Lewis. Let's have a look at the gap to leader. We are now 9/10 off of Verstappen. Lewis not with the personal best middle sector. Still quicker than Russell though by a 10th. So maybe this has an opportunity. What's Russell doing across the line? Here he comes. He goes 6th. Hamilton, 3rd place. We're on the 2nd row. We are set behind the Red Bulls. I mean, we could challenge the Red Bulls from here potentially. Or am I getting too carried away with myself? Let's get carried away. We're 3rd on the grid. Our best qualifying performance of the season. Lewis, well, let's put this into context. Lewis on a 30.1. Verstappen on pole on a 29.2. So maybe we can shoot for 2nd place, but from here we should be very much in the mix for a podium. And Fernando Alonso down there in P9. He's been out-qualified by Alex Albon in the Williams. Oh, Alonso's washed up, surely. Well, it looks to me like it's going to be a dry start, then a sprinkle, then we're going to have heavy, heavy rain. We might even get red flagged here. A couple of bouts of heavy rain. Then it's going to dry up towards the end of the race. So, this is a conundrum. What do we start on? Surely we start on... The only sensible thing to do is start on a set of soft tyres. And I'm considering, we've got a whole bunch of used sets of tyres there. I'm thinking put a used set of tyres on and then just sort of go from there. So maybe I mean, it's going to be fluid, so there's probably not any point in having a strategy. Just start on a set of softs and go for it. Because if the rain comes down, then great, we all go on to inters or wets. And if it doesn't, well, we'll just do a soft, medium, soft. Because that was one of the strategies available to us. Car setup is 90 and 91% respectively. High driver confidence, especially for Lewis. Can we get in between the Red Bulls at the start? I'm wondering if we light fuel a little bit. Take a lap out. Why not? Let's go for it. Especially if it rains, then we're going to be saving fuel anyway because we'll go slower. So we're going to go to the race. We're starting third and sixth. Let's see if we can get amongst the Red Bulls. Alright, race time in Miami. There's Lewis on the second row. And away we go. We're going to watch Lewis off the line. I think he's got a great start. He's looking like he's up the inside of Perez. And it looks like it could be P2 for Mercedes. On board. Are we second? We're second! Come on! We're up to P2 with Lewis Hamilton. What's George doing? He is going up the inside of Stroll as we speak. He's into fifth. So a great start. We're up a place with both cars. And with Lewis, we're even challenging Verstappen. Is that gap going to come down? It is. Send it, Lewis. Send it. Not this time. Not this time. But Russell has actually just lost that position to Stroll. We're still wheel to wheel with the Aston Martin. And fiddle through the chicane. Can we hold the position? No, it looks like we're going to lose out there. Hamilton has lost ground to Verstappen through that squirrely little section. But in the slipstream, he's closing the gap to Verstappen. Everyone started on soft, so we did the right thing. The game weirdly telling us to start on hards. So yeah, let's see how things go from here. Russell back behind Stroll. I think Lewis having a lighter fuel load here is definitely helping him. But we're expecting rain in 3 minutes, so let's keep going with all of this as it is. We've got a virtual safety car. So we can actually... Safety car deployed. There's been a huge crash. What's happened? Crash involving multiple cars. The two Alpha Tauris are going to get together, it looks like. Oh no! Oh dear. De Vries, what have you done? He's caused debris. De Vries got a time penalty, but he's not even in the race anymore. So here comes the rain. So let's keep an eye on that. As soon as it gets to almost a millimetre of rain, we're going to be bringing both our drivers in for inters. So what I'm going to do, because the rain is starting to pick up, it's supposed to get heavier in the next 4 minutes. I'm going to call George Russell into the pits this lap. We can always cancel it or extend it to the next lap. Safety car has ended. Here we go. Verstappen's actually got a really good restart. Lewis late on the brakes into turn 1. What's the rain doing? Still not quite ready for inters. No one else lower down the order taking the plunge for it either. 1 more minute until heavier rain, and that could be the difference. Lewis has got really good straight line speed actually. He's closing right up on Verstappen. With DRS, we might actually go past the Red Bull. This is a great opportunity to lead the race. Hamilton right on Verstappen. Are we going to make a move for the lead here? Don't think we're close enough. Right, we're going to sit behind. We're going to bring Russell in this lap. We're going to commit to it with George. And here goes Hamilton. Is he close enough? We're side by side with the Red Bull. Are we going to take the lead here at the Miami Gardens racetrack? Lewis Hamilton takes the lead momentarily, and then Verstappen gets the traction. What does Verstappen do? He's also in. Everybody's in. Everybody's in. Verstappen might get held up here. He's away. Where's Hamilton? Oh no! He's still in there. Oh, disaster! We're being held for everybody. Hamilton's still in the box. Now he's out. Oh no!
There should be all clear on exit.
Oh. And Verstappen's still in the lead. Stroll is now second. Albon's third. Oh. Well, that's really burst my bubble, hasn't it?
So no need to charge the pack.
But Stroll being in second is a big problem, and we are slower than the... Well, actually, we're slightly quicker than the Aston. Some DRS would be useful. Now, we are using our tyres a bit more than everybody else, so I think we just calm down a bit on those. Bring the temps down and then try and go for it. Hamilton's still staring at the back of the Haas. Got to get past here, Lewis. Needs to be done. Come on, man. Well, we've actually lost a place now to Perez, which is absolute... and Sainz. This race has just completely fallen apart. Here comes Sainz. Hamilton actually having a look at the inside of Hulkenberg, gets kind of chopped off, and Sainz snatches the opportunity. But we're fighting back with Lewis. Keep going, come on, get through. Outbrake him, force him a little bit wider. No, that's a position lost and confidence lost too. Albon has spun. He spun at turn 1, which is a shame for... Oh, that's a bizarre spin. It's a shame for him, but it's very, very useful for us. It gets George Russell into clear air, and now we can try and get after Perez and repair some of the damage. But really we need to get after Stroll, and we need Hamilton to pull his finger out. He's actually got the fastest lap of the race, which was clearly set in dry conditions. He's got past Sainz. That's more like it. This is more like it, Lewis. He's going to return the favour on Sainz, who's come to a complete stop there. Hulkenberg just driving the widest car known to man. Is it worth pitting Lewis for a second set of inters? I mean, his race has already been blown apart by what happened in the pit lane. Let's try not to be in there with everybody else. Let's box and then set some really quick lap times. The only problem is if it dries out, and then everyone will probably go to slicks there, but if we can pump in some good lap times, then we'll be alright. So we'll box Lewis and see what ground we can make up. We're going to come out in 12th, it says. So
we are low on battery at the moment.
Might be low on battery, but I think Lewis Hamilton is going for a double overtake here. That's Hulkenberg, and that's Norris that he's just gone past on the straight. The fresh inters are beginning to work. Very high driver confidence. Norris is coming back at us though, because we don't have any ERS. The McLaren retakes the position. We just need to harvest a bit there, and then we'll be able to deploy a little bit later on. What about here? Is this an opportunity? Out the back of the circuit, up the inside. Thanks very much. So Hamilton's been matching Verstappen in the lead on lap times, and he's now matching Ocon for area of the track. And he's going to duck to the inside. Is he going to make the move just like he did on Norris? He is indeed. Through goes Hamilton once more. These fresh inters are really working. We are using them, but it's working. DRS drained again, so we'll just have to harvest. So Albon the next car, then it's 17 seconds to Sainz, so then it will be all about our pace on these inters and how quickly we can start eroding that gap. But lap time wise, Sainz did a 40.1. Hamilton a second a lap quicker at the moment. He's actually the fastest man on track. The two Red Bulls, the only other cars in the 39. So let's see how the next few laps unfold. The dry spell is somewhere on the horizon. Hamilton into the 38 along with Verstappen now. And he is just eating up the ground to Albon. We're going to have to pass the Williams again. I think if we deploy here, then we'll just blast past down the straight. That's the idea at least. Albon defending for his life there. Hamilton on the outside. Will he get the traction and the drive? Yes, he will. And we'll now go back into harvest because we have to use a lot of energy there. 38.8, Verstappen a 38.5. Russell now into the 38s as well. But he is beginning to use up a lot of tyre. What's the AI at? They're into the 50s. Verstappen in the 60s still. Russell at 44%. We have abused these inters. Bear in mind as well, he was the first driver to go onto them. So the fact that he's still hanging in there in 4th position, doing a very good job. He's just matched Stroll there. 3/10 slower than Alonso. That switch back to dries would be very useful for George Russell. Hamilton's last lap time was a little bit slower than Sainz because of harvesting.
No rain.
So no more rain. The rain has now stopped. So we need to keep an eye on the dampness. Now I think we call Russell it. Well, we can bring them in at the same time basically because well, where's Hamilton? He's just gone past the pit straight. So I think it will be time. Have we not got any fresh softs for George? Did it put him on? Or did we use the fresh set of softs? I forget. There was too much going on. We're going to call George in on this lap. And Lewis is into the 37s. He's absolutely rocket shipping. Yeah, we're going to deploy and we're going to call Lewis in as well. He has a fresh set of soft tyres ready to go. I think the track is about to be dry enough for slicks. But no one else has come in. Do we push it one more lap? I think we do. I think we go one more lap. Track now dry. Sun coming out as well. So in comes Lewis Hamilton. Harvest with Russell on this lap. So we've got some energy to really blitz it out of the pit lane. Albon has followed us in. So the AI agrees. This is the lap to switch your tyres. What does Albon put on? Mediums. And Hamilton comes out in 10th position. But everyone ahead of him is going to have to box. And he will also get some DRS from Norris down the back straight. Pit stop issue for Zhou, but Russell is now in. There goes Hamilton. DRS active. Oh, a pit stop issue for Russell. What's going on, boys? What's happened here? Just couldn't get the car released. Oh, Ferrari so close to the rear of our Mercedes, our lovely Mercedes. So we've lost a position now to Leclerc. Hamilton, because we've had to go back on the fuel, is not closing down. So sadly, from that third place grid slot, I think that switch to inters completely murdered Hamilton's race. I should probably throttle back with Russell as well now. Yeah. Without that, we would have been third comfortably. 33-4, 32-9 now for Hamilton, who's just, it's hammer time. And it is about to be 7th and 8th time for Mercedes, because Alonso is looking for a way past George Russell and has found one, annoyingly. Russell's still fighting though, and ahead of Fernando Alonso. The tyres will go to the end from here. We can attack. So can we catch Sainz, who is right on Stroll? Push on the fuel. See if we can get some DRS for the last couple of laps. It's hammer time for George Russell. And we have reached DRS range with George Russell. Did we get it? Not that time. I'm sure we will over the line here. So we'll have DRS for laps 56 and 57. And hopefully we can get George Russell a top 5 finish. Hamilton's still closing on Alonso. 3/10 the last lap. Here we go then. Deploy. And DRS, and we're swerving all over the place to go past the Aston Martin. Round the outside, got nose ahead. Are we through? We are through.
Nice one.
Nice one indeed,
Nice
but
job.
Stroll isn't done yet.
So currently P5.
It's a drag race. Who got DRS? We did. We've got the DRS. We've got the position for the moment. Last lap. And Stroll is still looking like he wants that. No, we want to always defend. Always defend. I think we might be in a spot of bother here because Stroll will come back past. Here, no. Not this time. But we're gonna deploy. We're gonna give it full beans. Try and make sure that the Aston Martin doesn't come past. The Red Bull drivers won the race. It doesn't matter. I think we're going to be okay. George Russell is going to get his best finish of the season with P5. But at one point we were looking at taking the lead with Lewis Hamilton.
So that's a checkered flag.
But the pit stop debacle means it's only P8. A little bit constructors wise, the gap remains 4 points. Aston and Mercedes scoring 14 points each, but Ferrari and Red Bull beginning to extend a gap. If you enjoyed that race, give it a nice big thumbs up on the video for me. Subscribe for more Grand Prix content. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you ready for Imola.